is NEET Biology, and in today's session we study about the first chapter of class 12, reproduction in organism. In last session from this chapter we already completed about the changes which are take place during the fertilization, and for today's session we discuss about the post fertilization changes. Post fertilization change refers to the formation of zygote, as well as this zygote will develop into the embryo. So directly आप कह सकते हैं कि embryogeny or embryogenesis phenomena is predominantly involved in the process of post fertilization. So let's begin with post fertilization. So here when we study post fertilization change. So in these events, the first event is zygote undergoes in division, and second, upon division embryo development is begins, that is called as embryogeny. So first we see how the zygote is divided. Zygote, you remember when you study, so zygote is diploid structure, and this diploid, though one thing you remember, gametes are always haploid, zygote is always diploid, parent body may be haploid or diploid, this is the rule. So zygote is always a diploid structure. Now this diploid structure during the embryogenesis or embryogeny enter in, it depends whether the zygote divide by mitosis division or the zygote divide by meiosis division. So, when zygote divide in mitosis division, that means the parent body is diploid. If the zygote undergoes in meiosis division, that means the development or embryogeny we study in lower groups, that is algae and bryophyta predominantly. So here you remember the zygote enter in mitosis or it enters in meiosis. Now by mitosis, when zygote divide, so it provide or produce embryo that is diploid in structure, because mitosis you all remember equational division. So from diploid to diploid individuals are formed. So embryo is diploid, but when the meiosis is take place, the developing embryo is haploid and it result in the haploid body or haploid individual. So this part you remember. Then haploid individual or in haplontic life cycle we already discussed in previous session. In haplontic individuals, the meiosis is take place in zygote after zygote formation, whereas here the individual is formed, that is the diploid individual or diploid, you can say offspring or progeny is formed. This is the most important thing. Now here you remember this kind of division in zygote predominantly we study in pteridophyta, where we observe. So here you remember pteridophyta. After that pteridophyta you remember pteridophyta, then gymnosperm and angiosperm. Clear? So gymnosperm, angiosperm and pteridophyta you remember, as well as kingdom Animalia, always show that mitosis division in zygote. When we come towards the meiosis in zygote, so here you remember algae, bryophyta, fungi only show the meiosis division in their zygote or in their embryogeny. So now this part you remember, and we come towards the embryogeny. When we discuss about the embryogeny, that means you remember we predominantly discuss the phenomena of embryogeny in plants and the process of embryogeny or the post-fertilization changes in animal. So first we discuss these changes in animals and then we come towards the post-fertilization changes in plants. So here when we study about the post-fertilization change or embryogeny in animal, so here you remember zygote form internally inside body of female individual. Now it depends, this we study for the mainly for the internal fertilization. So upon internal fertilization, zygote is formed inside the body of female, and then after the female individuals are show the different kinds of development of that zygote. Either the zygote divided and develop into embryo inside the body, or this zygote releases as an egg outside the body, and then that zygote will be developed into, or the embryo is developed into new young one, but the development is proceed outside the body. So on the basis of this, the individuals you remember are of two types, oviparous and viviparous. This part you remember. In oviparous, if you go through the NCERT, so in oviparous you find the definition. The egg laying animals are called as oviparous, and egg may be fertilized or unfertilized. Unfertilized egg means the egg refers in case of the external fertilization. So in external fertilization also egg is releases, but that egg is a female gamete. And oviparous animals, here you remember when we study, so oviparous animal releases the egg when the internal fertilization also take place. So here we mainly study about this. So here you remember oviparous means egg laying animals, and viviparous means you remember viviparous are generally birth giving animals. First thing you remember. After that here you remember oviparous में यहाँ पे आपका है egg laying animal, egg may be fertilized egg or unfertilized egg. Fertilized egg predominantly you remember, fertilized egg releases as, most important thing, the fertilized egg releases as calcareous eggs. Calcareous eggs का meaning है the egg is bounded by the shell of calcium carbonate, and these calcareous eggs lays in safe habitat or safe environment. So this part you remember, because one important requirement or need is there to protect these individuals or eggs from the predators. Therefore, the eggs are laid inside a safe habitat. Normally, the phenomena we observe in birds, in reptiles, we observe the calcareous eggs are there, and when the gestation period is completed or the maturation of embryo completed, hatching of egg is take place, and upon hatching, the new individual, new bird or new reptile comes out of that the egg. So this part you remember for the oviparous. Viviparous, as we appear in surrounding mammals, most of the mammals हम study कर रहे हैं, they are viviparous. So here you remember only duck-billed platypus, you remember exceptional mammal that comes under the oviparous. So viviparous, birth giving animal that gives the birth upon completion of gestation period. They gives birth to new young ones. So this part you remember they are giving the birth to new young ones. So such individuals are called as viviparous. Oviparous example you remember birds and reptiles, and here the mammals are comes under the category of viviparous. So this much you remember for the post fertilization changes which are take place in animals. Now we come towards the post fertilization changes take place in plant. So let's begin with the changes in plants. So here the post fertilization changes we study in plants. So mainly in plants you remember the female reproductive structure is gynoecium, and that gynoecium show the major changes after the during the post fertilization event. Now what are the changes are take place? These you try to understand by this diagram. This is the gynoecium, this part is stigma, this is style, and this part is called as ovary. Inside the ovary you remember one stalked structure is there. That stalked structure is called as ovule, and in ovule you remember number of cells are there in embryo sac, but one common cell is there, that is the egg. These three structure you remember in plant present inside the gynoecium or pistil आप study कर रहे हैं. So here when the fertilization is take place, so during fertilization or during the process of sexual reproduction you remember pollen grains of the same species settled over the stigma. These pollen grains undergoes in germination, and upon germination pollen tube is produces, and this pollen tube you remember carry the two male gametes. These entire processes we study in next chapter. So out of these two male gametes, the first male gamete is fused with the egg cell and the fertilization is successfully completed. Now when the fertilization is take place, so upon fertilization you remember the main post fertilization changes in plant. These three statements you only remember. The ovary become a fruit. So upon fertilization ovary get modified into fruit. Ovules you remember the ovules get develop into seed, and this egg first develop into zygote, and then this zygote will convert or modify into embryo. Because this question generally important for your board exam, that what are the two post fertilization changes in plants or in angiosperm. So two post fertilization changes if asked. So you simply remember the ovary develop into fruit and ovule is develop into seed, because it is understood to all the egg is upon fertilization always develop into zygote and proceed to the development of embryo. So this much you remember, and additional part is provided here, that is the wall of fruit. So wall of fruit you remember the wall of fruit is called as pericarp. Diagrams are provided, 2-3 diagrams are provided in NCERT for this explanation. So P over there stand for the pericarp and S for the seed. So that part you remember very well. The pericarp is a wall of fruit, and already you studied in class 11. The pericarp is predominantly consists of 3 layers: epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. So this part, this much you remember. These are the some important changes which are take place in plant during the post fertilization event. Okay. Now one question question is provided there that when the pollination is take place, so upon pollination, the rest of part of the plant flower, that is calyx, corolla and androecium, they get shed off generally. Only after pollination the gynoecium remain as it is in plant. So one question is there, in one family the calyx are persistent. So whenever the question is asked for the persistent calyx, one of the most important, so persistent calyx, you remember the Solanaceae family is the identical family, or Solanaceae family show persistent calyx. So this part you remember. And persistent calyx means the calyx are permanently present. So in Solanaceae family, persistent calyx are present. For Solanaceae common examples are brinjal, chili, tomato. आप study करते आ रहे हैं. So these are the some common example of the Solanaceae family. So this much you remember for the today's session, that mainly what are the post fertilization changes take place in plant as well as in animals. And with this, the first chapter of class 12th is completed. In next session we will come towards the exercise portion. So we will solve the NCERT exercise for this chapter and some another important questions which are repeatedly asked from the last years, which are repeatedly asked in last year exam. So by that time connect रहना है channel के साथ. So you stay connected with Dr. Deepa Dahake's NEET Biology. Secondly, the students who are joined from today, they kindly subscribe the channel. Subscribe करना नहीं भूलना है. And secondly, if you feel any doubts and difficulty in any statement of NCERT, in any paragraph of NCERT, so again I am saying कि you feel free to ask those doubts and queries. And by that time, new session we will begin with new session for the same chapter. Exercise based analysis we go. So that time you stay motivated, stay blessed and work hard.